I'm going to show you how the rubric tool works. So first of all, in your class, you go to the classwork page and you have to create an assignment. And I'm just going to, this may pop up. You can just click the X or click Got It. But that's what I'm going to show you is that tool right there. So um, this is going to be a demo essay assignment. And then you fill out the rest of the assignment as you would with instructions, point values, due dates, and I'm going to click on Create Rubric. So for the rubric, it's going to have you scoring on automatically so that the your scores can be put into you'll see the score for the rubric, and then you can transfer that into the gradebook. Just some quick setting things here. So you have the name of the assignment, and then add the criteria you'll use to evaluate the performance. You're building a rubric. The three dots here, you can delete the rubric. You can sort the order of points either descending or ascending. You can switch that. And it'll show here how many points total your entire rubric is worth. So to start building, you would start with the criterion title. So what are you looking for? If you're doing maybe a writing, you're looking for voice, and then you build out your rubric. So this would be 1 point or level 1, and then you have this section's worth 2 points, 3 points. Maybe you do a 4 point rubric. You can have up to 9 points in a rubric. And then you assign your level. So this could be however you decide to describe this or list this. Poor, needs work. I'll just put some stuff in here. And I'll show you an example of a rubric that's finished. But this is just one if you want to start one from scratch. And then, so once you get your first criteria, you can either click the Add Criterion button here, and you go through the same processes. You can always copy and paste if you've got a rubric on another document. Copy and paste that information in here, and the three dots, you can also delete the different levels if you want to, but you can copy and paste your level, your description. If you click the Add Criterion button here at the bottom, you have to start that again from scratch, or you can click the duplicate criterion and it basically duplicates this, and then you can just change the title if you want to keep the levels the same, which you probably should, and then you can just change the description. So you don't have to do as much if you don't want to. And then you can see here where there's a total of 4 points here, there's a total of 4 points here. You could have extra for this criteria versus this one, but that's up to you how you want to do that. The three dots next to where the points are, you can add a description of the criterion, and then you can also delete it, or you can move the order of the criteria up and down. So when you're done, you save it, and it gets saved right down here at the bottom. It says rubric, 2 criteria, it's worth 8 points. And I'm going to go ahead and assign this. Notice I'm not adding a template or anything else. I'm going to expect my students to create that Google Doc themselves that they type their essay on. So I'm going to go ahead and click assign, and so now that's assigned there. It's demo essay right there. It's on my classwork. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out to my student account. So this is my student account, so you can see what the student sees. we go into the Demo 2 class, and here's the assignment. If I go to classwork, the assignment's right here also. And the student will see the rubric. So if I click on that as a student, I will be able to see the criteria, and I can close those if I want as a student. I can see the level and how many points it's worth, and then if I had descriptions in there, which I should, I could see those too. So that's view only to the student, so they will always be able to go back and look at that. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'm going to click on view assignment as a student, and I'm going to click on add or create. I'm going to create a doc. I'm going to create a document. The student is going to create a document for this assignment, and I'm going to go ahead and just assume that we typed up the essay. I'm going to go ahead and turn it in as the student. So it is turned in. The essay is complete, and then if I go back to the teacher page, so I'm back at the teacher page now, and I open up my demo assignment, you can see I've got one turned in. And now when I go to grade it, I'm going to click on the document and open it. So here's the document my student created. Over here on the right, you've got some icons. You got the file icon. This shows you when it was turned in, and that's the document right there. And if you want it in a pop out in a different window, you can have that pop out. This icon is the grading icon, and this is where your rubric will be. So your rubric is right here listed, and if you click the arrow down, you can see. And so as you're reading through this, you can come over and say, okay, for that criterion you got that, and then for this criterion maybe it needs a little bit of work, and you can make some comments. If you need to, you can click the little pop-out button here, and it opens up in a new tab, and then you can see, so you can quickly see the description. So you could flip back and forth and say, oh, okay, so it was here instead of the other one. So here's how many points. We got 3 out of 4 points for that criterion, 2 out of 4 points. That equals 5 out of 8. Now notice that the rubric grade does not transfer into the overall grade. So if you wanted to transfer this to the overall grade, if you still want it to be 5 out of 8 points, you'd have to change the point total by clicking the 3 dots here. So this is worth 8 points now, and then you put in 5. You can still make private comments, and then you can return that to the student. So I'm going to click on, I'm returning that to the student, so the student will be able to see their grade. So if I come back in here to the student, now I'm back in my student account. I go to the assignment, and I can see my grade, and the student will be able to see where you graded them on the rubric also. So there's the final grade there at the top, and there's the rubric grade, and then you have how the student was graded on the rubric in general. So that's a really quick on how you use the rubric tool and how you create one from scratch. Now I want to show you a workaround, because there is no so there is no way to reuse rubrics natively. There's no upload rubric file or upload rubric option yet. All you can do is delete and add criterion and basically build the rubric. So here's the workaround for creating reusing rubrics, and this came from one of my coworkers, Leslie Nelson, who's also a certified trainer. And what she did is she made an entire Google Classroom with rubrics that she makes for her class. And so she teaches at the high school. She's a history teacher at the high school. And so these are rubrics that she makes. And so what she did is she made a classroom, created an assignment, and built her rubric. Oops. Built her rubric for that assignment. So this would be the DBQ rubric that they use. It's a writing assessment. And so now what she can do is, since that is an assignment, so if I go back into my demo and go to classwork, I go to create an assignment. No, sorry, I got ahead of myself. I'm going to create and reuse a post. I'm going to go to the Rubrics class, and I want to reuse one of these assignments that has the rubric built into it. So I want to use that DBQ rubric for one of my assignments. I'm going to click on reuse, and she added me as a co-teacher. That's why I am able to access these. I can change this, so this will be Unit 1 Writing Assessment, and the rubric is already built in because it was built into the original assignment that we're reusing. And then all I have to do is click Assign. If I go back to my student account, refresh my page here. Here's my Unit 1 Writing Assessment, and there's the rubric. And if I, now as a student, as I'm working, I can pull these down and look and see, okay, if I want number 4 or 4 points, I need to do these things. So that's the workaround for reusing rubrics. Make a class only for rubrics, or build a rubric in an assignment. You have to post the assignment and then reuse that assignment for future assignments with that rubric, and it'll save you a ton of time. So that's how you use the rubric tool in Google Classroom.